2024 was my first year that I was working for myself. I left my job at the end of 2023, and I have been what you would call financially free for the majority of 2024. And what that means for me is I got to travel to Bali for 4 months of the year. I got to live it up and literally be based wherever I want and work wherever I want. That for me was a massive milestone. And in that, I had 2 months that I made over 10 grand. One of those months was May over in Bali, my most relaxed week I've ever had for years. Then it was November when I was doing a house reno as well as some online marketing. So on a good note, really made me realize how far I could go, right? I won't dive into that too much. Let's look at the rough stuff, and I'll share some wins towards the end of the video, right? So man, I've spent a lot of time over the last 2 years, but a lot more time alone in 2024. And what that looks like is, it's not a sense of, oh, I'm lonely and I'm all sad and, oh, pity me. No, I'm talking about being physically alone. So yeah, I lived it up in Bali and I got to see some absolutely awesome places. But I'll be honest, the majority of time I spent over there was physically alone. And then back in Oz over here, traveling around a bit, a lot of the time was spent alone. A lot of alone time traveling, a lot of alone time driving, as you can see right now. I've spent more time alone this year than I ever have in my entire life, man. And that to me is a massive amount of growth in that, right? Becoming my own best friend, learning how to travel to third world countries and speaking a bit of their language, and being able to work my way around the place without being completely connected over there, right? That in itself creates a lot of independence, a lot of trust within myself, a lot more confidence. And it's a challenge, dude. It's a challenge to spend a lot of time alone, doing a lot of alone things, suffering alone, succeeding alone, battling the inner demons constantly, right? Because my reality of the world becomes a lot more smaller, and at times a lot less optimistic, and having that pessimistic outlook on life when I'm stuck in my own mind. Because everything I do, every person I come into contact with, the work I put in, the time I just sit and relax, the time that I focus on planning, any time that I spend is majority spent with myself, which then creates a whole different perspective on the world, right? So yeah, a lot of alone time in 2024. And also a lot of time actually between that alone time spent with a lot of people, all right? And a lot of community has really come through in 2024. I spent a lot of time in a men's group, in a community. I was actually doing their content creation, right? So every 3 months we'd go out the bush, help blokes level up, change their lives, or impact their lives, I should say. Doing videography, facilitation, man, like spending every single week facilitating a space or being of service in some way, shape or form. Most weeks, 100 hours plus, just switched on to some form of self-development. Whether it was me consuming something to learn, whether it was me giving my services to somebody else, providing a safe space to clients to make sure that they are understanding the frameworks that we used to teach in the men's group, and helping these guys giving a lot of energy, right? That right there, just being of service constantly. I would spend every Monday working my ass off trying to organize calls, and then it was turning into content creation, and then it was organic marketing, and it was basically got to the point where I was managing social media, dude, and working remotely. It was epic. It was epic. But the dark side of it was truly that it drained the shit out of me, working 100 hours plus. And what then happened within that was, when I am giving all of my energy out into something that becomes more of a chore, then it starts to feel unaligned, feeling like I'm waking up doing something that I don't really want to be doing, and I'm living a life that's kind of a lie. I lost myself, right? I lost why I started, what I was doing with my life, where I was going, and I just stopped feeling. I stopped being present. That's the biggest thing I noticed, which is a pattern that has happened within relationship in general, right? How we do relationship is how we do business. So how I was doing relationships previously was just give, burn out, resent. The exact same thing that happened in business, and in partnership with the men's group. So give, and burning out, and then resent. And it all happens in my own mind. So that was a massive learning curve. Being a part of the men's group and really pushing to see my own potential and how much I could give without actually burning out, and then also burning out and giving even more. Like finding the edge and pushing through it. That was huge. And the third thing that really hit in 2024, I was feeding my ego too much, dude. Being around guys that were high performing in various areas of their life, online coaches making decent amount of money, living their life by design, living a life that they have chosen, and me teaching them how to build their habits, me teaching them how to do life, me charging thousands and thousands of dollars for my service, me charging hundreds of dollars per hour, dude, to work with me. Various different things, from mindset coaching to business consulting to content creation, to not have been qualified with a piece of paper and all I've got is results, belief within myself, and testimonials, and the confidence to sell. Those things got me to a place where I was supporting blokes that decades and decades older than me with a lot more life experience, and I could fill a gap for them. And what it had me doing was giving constantly to these guys, but when I would be in conversation with people my age, or people I would look at them on social media and I would see how they are doing life. And I'm just sitting there on my high horse, dude. Just like, yeah, you're working your normal jobs. Yeah, Monday to Friday. You guys are just pieces of shit. What are you even doing with yourself, man? There's more to life than this. Why can't, like, it's so simple to just get really good at something, and now you got a service and start promoting yourself. Start a social media page, organic marketing, mate. Push yourself out there, get a few clients for free. Once you get a few clients for free, then you got 3 testimonials, and then you can start charging a base rate for your services. What are you doing with your life? Why aren't you working on a project? Why are you going around and getting with everybody, right? Why are you drinking every weekend and you're 25 years old? I met you when you were 20, dude. What is wrong with you? I'm 21. What is going on with your life? Do something. Be interesting. Be more than useful, dude. So all of these things that were going through my mind were all because of what we would call conditioning, right? Things that were going on in my mind were because of what the high horse that I put myself on, but I kept getting pushed up by the guys that were looking up to me. And it's not intentional. They're not trying to put me on a high horse or nothing. It was just my perspective, right? And my ego just getting fed. And that's dangerous, man. It was, I even just saying that stuff, it's kind of disgusting. It's just like, man, you're not any better. You're not any different. You're not a special snowflake, dude. You're just doing life. You're walking a different pathway to the people your age, right? Because you've seen more things and you've been associating yourself with people that have more life experience. And what happens then? You got to mature. And when you mature, you're going to just see life in a different perspective, because your reality of the world has just shifted compared to people your age. That's it, right? It's dead set it. And what happened the back end of 2024, I was like burnt out from the hours, but not just the hours, because the body is capable of so much, right? I've definitely discovered that this year. The body is capable of more than the mind can conceive. But the soul is only capable of a certain amount before something ain't right. Something doesn't feel right. And what happened was I got to the end of this men's group and I kind of started seeing through the veil, man. Started seeing through the veil of the stuff that wasn't fully aligned for me, right? For me. And I started being in conversation with guys that kind of also saw through it as well. And it made me realize I'm not crazy. I'm not losing the plot. The chapter is complete. Logic says, no mate, just continue, dude. This is bringing in an income and bringing in your opportunity that is absolutely amazing. Money could actually not buy the connections you got with these dudes, the network that you've built, especially at this age. But the soul, man, was just my soul was just gagging at the fact of where I ended up at and how much I continued pushing myself. And I just couldn't do it. So, it was actually just a few weeks ago, I called the shot. People are like saying, oh, you got to burn the bridge. No, mate, you just walk across it and people follow. Happy days. So, walked across the bridge, dude, and that was that. And then yesterday I finalized all of the content, like thousands of pieces of media, I think 400 gigabytes worth of data, which was costing me money just having it stored, removing that from my forefront and also giving it over to the people who need it. That was a massive sign of relief. And also, man, having a mature conversation. I didn't mention that, right? Having a fucking mature conversation, bloke to bloke. Hey, dude, this isn't working for me. This is where I want to go. And it sucks for both parties. But, man, it's what it is, right? To have a conversation that was just a real convo. A bit of a heart-to-heart. This is where I'm at. This is where I'm going. This is what's happening. And this is my vision for the present moment. And it gets received and respected. Boom. Like, that's where the money's at, dude. That's a win in my eyes. So, yeah, at the point now, we're with the back end of 2024, man. And it's been a hectic year. But the wins, biggest thing just give me a second. There's an odd bloke over there. I think he needs to get off the gear and start getting an idea, mate. So coming at the back end of this year and not working full-time online, doing a small amount and working on a renovation, which I'm super fortunate to have. You go, darling. You're right. At the back end of this year, feeling very grateful for a lot of stuff that's happening. And like I just mentioned, the renovation supported me financially. I'm still working for myself, dude, basically managing a reno. Absolutely awesome. The owner of the house, man, he's an absolute machine of a bloke. Super grateful for how it's all turned out. The biggest positive that I've learned has been it's not about all the cool stuff we see on social media. It's actually about, does it feel right within us? Does it align with us? Does the step that I'm taking now, does the path that I'm walking now work for me? And that correlates, to business, but also to what like your health, dude, your friendships, your relationships, your environment, your workplace, whatever domain of life, it must align with you. You must feel good within your soul that it's working, right? And also have some logic and a bit of emotion. Yes, it feels right. And yeah, mate, it's obviously going to work because of X, Y, and Z data point, right? It's going to work because I am making enough money. It's going to work because I have the support network around me. It's going to work because in in 5 years' time, due to the amount of money that I'm making now, and my intention is to stay in X career, X business for 5 years' time, and it's gonna get me to a point where things are working out for me. And that means then I can go and buy a property, right? Whatever your thing is, dude, my advice is to, well, my learning curve and the advice that I'll provide for you is make sure it feels right. Be confident within yourself, believe in yourself, dude, and have a game plan for the next couple months and just go with that. So this year's been epic. It's been rough. It's been fun. It's been wild. It's been a massive year for growth, and I'm super keen for 2025. Rock on, baby. Boos!